So I just finished Beast Game Season 2, Episode 9. We are nearing the end of the season and the tension is definitely showing. I was correct with my prediction last episode. Monica didn't end up calling August bluff, and interestingly enough, nothing came out from that bluff because there was no follow through from August. I initially did think that there might have been a slip up from Jim when August called Jim, telling Jim that, hey, I know Monica sold the coin for $200,000, and then randomly said, Jim randomly said, no, if she sold the coin, you would have seen $500,000, and for me, I felt it sounded like Jim was trying to correct August that it wasn't 200,000 but 500,000. So so yeah, I thought there was a slip up, but lucky for them that August didn't think anything of it and nothing came out of it. But we have to talk about Hannah's crazy play. Like that was probably the craziest play she has ever done in this season because otherwise she was pretty much like in the sideline. Like she was pretty much like a wallflower throughout the season. You don't really notice what she's doing. She was doing minimal impact until this episode where she gave away all her money. And it was such a wild move to watch, and kudos for her for securing top six. And honestly, like she picked the best round to do it because as as the rounds decline and there's less people to move forward, it becomes more of a social game and a money game at that point. Like it becomes obvious that the more popular people gets more dibs on the votes or like gets more money and stuff like that. So the fact that she did it quite um, early on, like pe- like earlier in the rounds, there are more what do you call that? There are more w- areas for throwaway votes, and it gets less and less the more rounds are done and more players make it to top six. So she did it. She made it to in the as a second round. She got through, and 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 that's because a lot of people were still willing to give away votes because it wasn't that critical yet. Because it becomes super critical, basically, as the rounds progress. So good for her for going all or nothing, and at that point, and obviously at the most critical round where only one person can move forward, I really appreciated Jim's turnaround in his character, going basically like he was actively lobbying and strategizing to get Monica forward, and 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 he was doing that while maximizing his earning potential as he accepted that he's not going to move forward. So I found that um, really strategic and really nice of him to kind of do that. Because honestly, like from his character early on, I honestly thought he would be pushing himself to move forward. He would be trying to get, trying to like persuade Monica to let him move forward instead, even at the detriment of her game. So to see him like switch like that and like really lobby for Monica was nice to see. So we are left with the massive cliffhanger on who is the last person who would make the top six. And it's basically left up to Nick. Nick always gets like the brunt of the decision, interestingly enough, but it's left up to Nick, and my prediction is Nick would be voting Monica. They have been very close together and have done more things together. Like they made the tough decision on breaking the three hearts. Um, so I feel like they naturally have a stronger relationship together versus like Nick and Brett. And after the 1 million burial challenge, Nick basically told Monica that he would look out for her, and this is pretty much the best way possible. Like basically like the swing vote to get Monica to the top six. And while you can argue that Nick promised Brett after the 30,000 bribe, and Nick would be like going against his promise, you can also easily say that Nick actually made the promise to Monica first in the round where Corey was moved forward. He actually promised Monica that he would vote her next, and yeah, so technically Monica was given the promise first, not Brett. So if we're looking at it at a promise perspective, he is also fo- following through with the promise to Monica. So that's my prediction. Let me know your thoughts on who Nick will be voting and who will be moving forward. It's very, very interesting to see what will happen in the final episode, and I'll see you there.